Hello, welcome to Forget Me Not Studios. Today, I'll be demonstrating how to use this bearded iris build a flower stamp set from Altenew. I have an affinity with this stamp set. My grandmother used to grow these bearded irises, and they're absolutely beautiful flowers. The stamp set comes with this stamping layering guide, which I'll be using throughout the project. It helps you figure out how to line the stamps up so that there's no white spaces in between the different pieces and parts. There's a lot of stamping to the stamp project. In fact, the iris itself has 5 different stamps, and the stem for the iris uses 3 stamps, so 8 stamps in all. I'll try and give some tips here as we go along. I'll be starting out with the color limestone, which is a very pale gray color. You can barely see it showing up on the paper here, but it helps to give an outline of the flower. That way I can match up the other pieces easier. I'm going to be stamping 2 iris today, so you'll see me double stamping twice onto 2 different pieces of cardstock. Next, I'll be adding the second stamp, and I'll be stamping with the color Sea Glass. It's a really pretty light blue color, and it reminds me of the color on the inside of icebergs, which we have up in here a lot, up here in Alaska in abundance. They really are beautiful with this light blue color. If you just noticed, I wiped off the stamp with my fingers. That's called seasoning the stamp, and it helps make the ink lay down a little bit clearer. You want to season your stamps really well before you stamp with them. That way the color lays down and it's not as blotchy. The other thing you'll notice me doing when I'm done with the stamping is cleaning it off. I just use a baby wipe from a brand that I get at Costco. It cleans the stamps off really well in between, so I don't have to get up and go wash them off with soap and water. That way I can keep stamping along. When I'm all finished with the project, I will actually wash my stamps off with soap and water and try and get as much of the color residue off of the stamps as I can. I'll be moving on to the 3rd stamp here pretty soon, and I'll be using the color Ocean Waves. It pairs beautifully with the Sea Glass color, and it's a slightly darker blue color, and as you can see, it's starting to add some dimension onto the flower. I'm going to go ahead and put on some music for the rest of the stamping here. I'll just be adding more and more of the layers, the stamp layers, and you'll see me occasionally pulling out the Altenew stamping guide. That stamping guide really does help. It has little lines and markers, and it shows you how to line the stamps up perfectly. Now that I'm all done stamping, I'm going to take this garden lattice cover die by Honeybee, and I'm going to cut down some lawn fawn vellum to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch, and I'm going to run it through my die cutting machine with this garden lattice cover die. I'm going to use some low-tack purple masking tape to hold the die onto the vellum onto the die. Because there's so much detailed cutting, I don't want the vellum to wiggle and jiggle on the die as I'm running it through my die cutting machine. And because this tape is so low tack, it will come off of the vellum even after all the little diamonds have been cut. I actually ended up running this through my die cutting machine twice. There's really so much detail. I wanted to make sure all the little squares come out and don't end up getting stuck. Now that I've run it through the die cut machine, I can pull off all the little diamond shapes along with the purple masking washi tape that I used. I'm going to use a tape runner and just run it around the very outside edge and attach it to some yellow cardstock, and then I'm going to attach my 2 bearded iris that I just stamped onto the cardstock. I'm going to use a light blue glitter and a sentiment that says happy birthday. The sentiment comes from Tonic Studios and it's actually called Birthday Wishes. I'm going to pop out all the little extra pieces for my Birthday Wishes sentiment, and I'm going to go ahead and glue it on to the bottom of my card. I use this tiny little glue bottle from Gina K Designs. It has a very, very tiny little tip, and so it doesn't spread all over and it gets just on the places I want it to be. It's really perfect for this kind of detailed gluing work. I really hope you enjoyed today's card making session, and thank you for stopping by and watching my video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. It really means a lot to us YouTubers. Thank you so much. Bye.